All right, let's get started. Today, we're stepping onto the scene of a corporate crime. We've got a once thriving brand that's, well, it's failing. And the cause of death? Completely unknown. But here's the thing. There's a trail of data, a breadcrumb trail of clues, and we have the one investigative technique that can crack this case wide open.
So this is the big question, right? It's really at the heart of our whole investigation. Our victim, in this case, is a beverage company. And trust me, it's not looking good. Its reputation is basically bleeding out, sales are flatlining, and its brand value, it's in a total freefall. The crazy part is they have no idea what's killing them, but we're about to find out.
Okay, first things first. Every good investigation starts by securing the crime scene. For us, that scene is what we call the company's brand value. It's basically its reputation, what people actually think of it. And right now, that value is dropping, and it's dropping fast. This is our first major clue that something has gone terribly, terribly wrong.
And believe me, the stakes here are absolutely life or death for this business. The evidence is crystal clear on this. Brands that have a solid reputation see a 31% higher return on their investment. Think about that. A good brand isn't just some cool logo. No, it's the company's lifeline. If you lose that, you lose everything. Game over.
So, for a case this complex, you can't just show up with the standard toolkit. No way. You need a specialist. And that's where Six Sigma comes in. Now, it's not a person. Think of it more like a legendary methodology. It's like a data-driven profiler, specifically designed to hunt down the root cause of any problem, no matter how deep it's buried.
So let's get a better look at our lead investigator here. What is Six Sigma really? Well, it operates on two things: discipline and cold, hard data. It doesn't do hunches or gut feelings, it's all about evidence. It tracks down the source of every single defect, and in our case, you can think of those defects as the wounds that are slowly killing this brand. Six Sigma finds them, and then it eliminates them. Simple as that.
Every great detective has a method, a process they follow. For Six Sigma, that method is called DMAIC. That's D-M-A-I-C. It stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. This is our 5-step playbook, the roadmap that's going to lead us all the way from the first clue to closing this case for good.
All right, the investigation officially begins now. We're diving into the first 3 phases: define, measure, and analyze. This is where the real detective work starts. We're going to canvass the scene, gather all the evidence we can find, and start piecing together a timeline of exactly what went wrong.
So, what's the first rule of any investigation? You talk to the eyewitnesses. And in the business world, the eyewitnesses are always the customers. We got their testimony from a survey, and let me tell you, it was damning. They're saying the taste is forgettable, the bottle is ugly, there aren't enough flavors, and the marketing, it's like it doesn't even exist. These aren't just complaints. These are our first solid leads. Okay, so now we have a bunch of leads. We need to figure out where to focus our energy. For that, we use a neat little tool called a Pareto analysis. It's basically a fancy way of separating the small-time problems from the major culprits. And as you can see from this chart, not all these problems are created equal. See those 2 tallest bars? Marketing and taste. These are what we call the vital few. They're our prime suspects, and they're causing most of the damage.
This is where we start connecting the dots. Think of this table as our investigation board. The kind with pictures and red string connecting everything. This relationship matrix connects our suspects to the actual crimes. We're pinning product taste and advertising to low brand awareness and poor sales. And look, the connections are starting to light up. You see that? A strong link from taste to both problems. Another one from ads to low awareness. The evidence isn't scattered anymore. It's forming a pattern, and it's getting clearer by the second.
Okay, we have our prime suspects in the lineup, but we're not just looking for accomplices here. We need the mastermind, the single root cause behind this whole mess. And to find that, we need a confession. We're going to get it by using a really powerful interrogation technique known as the 5 whys.
So, the interrogation begins. Question 1. Why is the brand value so low? And the answer comes back because the company has low brand awareness. Okay, but that's not good enough. We push harder. Question 2. Why is the brand awareness low? Answer: because of a lack of marketing and promotion. We're getting warmer.
And why is that? Question number 3. Why is there a lack of marketing? The answer? Because the company isn't reaching any new people.
We are so close to the truth now, I can feel it. Question 4. Why aren't they reaching new people? Because their strategy, it doesn't even target new clients. And there it is, the confession. The final question. Why doesn't their strategy target new clients? Because they only focused on their existing clients. They got comfortable, they ignored any new customers, and the brand just slowly suffocated. That, right there, is our root cause. Case cracked.
So, we've identified the culprit. But a good detective knows the job isn't over just because you found the bad guy. You have to make sure this crime can never happen again. So now, we move into the final phases of our investigation: improve and control.
Now that the root cause was out in the open, the team could build a real action plan. And this wasn't just about patching up the marketing. Oh no, this was a complete overhaul based on all the evidence we gathered. We're talking new ad strategies with a real budget, a completely redesigned bottle to make it more attractive, and finally, a fix for the taste. They weren't just solving one problem, they were fixing everything the investigation uncovered.
And here's the final crucial step, the control phase. Honestly, you can think of this as filing the official case report. The team documented absolutely everything. Every clue, every tool they used, every single solution. This file is the company's institutional memory. It ensures these lessons are never forgotten, and it stops them from becoming a repeat offender. Because the goal isn't just to solve the problem, it's to make sure it stays solved.
All right, so what's the big takeaway here? After all that, what did this data-driven detective story really teach us? You know, this quote from the research really just says it all. Six Sigma is powerful because it throws guesswork out the window and replaces it with cold, hard evidence. It's a structured, logical framework that can untangle even the most complex crime scene, whether that's a defect on a factory floor or, like we saw today, the mysterious death of a brand.
Think about it. We solved this entire case just by asking one simple question, why, 5 times in a row. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What hidden root cause might be shaping your world? What problem, maybe at work or even in your personal life, is just one deep investigation away from being completely solved? What mystery is just sitting there, waiting for you to crack the case?